I just got back from a Europe trip, and this is the first time ever that I haven't been able to keep up with all my YouTube comments getting back to you guys. So sorry about that if I've left you hanging, but I figured I would go ahead and just make a question and answer video today covering all that stuff, and maybe it'll be a little bit more helpful to more of you guys in the end. Alright, let's go back to the oldest one. So a week ago, Jefferson Castillo says, what are your best tips for exposing with an iPhone? So pretty simple. All I typically do is this. I just hold the iPhone and I click the brightest spot, and that sets your exposure. You can click and hold it and it's going to lock it in, even better for video. Or if you want it to be darker, like if there's some really bright highlight, you click it and then click the screen and drag it down, and that's going to set it wherever you want it. So that's pretty much it for me. Okay, next we've got Leo Dodger, and he says this video was awesome. Let's see, this is a behind the scenes flash shoot video, which I'm planning on doing more of soon. So he says this video is awesome. I've learned a lot and enjoyed watching you go through all the rooms and the details using multiple flashes. And he's currently taking my course. Thank you. It's been really cool to see people take the course, learn from it, get feedback. It's awesome. It was a ton of work making the course, and I have more coming, but it's been really rewarding just to see people go through it and learn a lot in a different way than just YouTube videos. So he said, oh, he's just looking forward to the next course after HDR. So good segue into that's what I'm doing really soon. I'm like 75% of the way done editing it. It's another long course. It's a little bit shorter than the first one, but it's going to be covering off-camera flash and doing real estate architectural shoots. Okay, keep up the good work and having fun with what you do. So thank you, I will. Y'all's comments really do mean a lot, like that. Okay, so let's see, this one is another phone question. So great video. What modes did you have the gimbal in for these shots? Pan, follow mode, or lock mode? So yes, I pretty much always use the pan follow mode. I might have misremembered what it was called on some videos in the past, but that's what I use. Unless I'm doing a super creative shot where I need the axis to roll, that's what I use. Keeps the horizon line level, and that's what I want. That goes for phones and for normal gimbal work. Okay, this one's about frame rates. So Alan O says, if I want to shoot everything at 4K to downscale it later in post, but I own a camera that only films 4K in 30 frames per second and HD 60 frames per second, which is what this EOS R does that I'm filming on right now. How do I edit later? What's the best approach so that the end HD footage won't look bad? In other words, editing, mixing resolutions with footages. So I do this a lot, and it seems to work out fine. Obviously, you're going to have less detail in 1080p footage than you are in your 4K footage, but most people are watching this stuff on 1080p monitors or on phones and stuff, so most people, for most cases, are not going to really notice the difference more than you will while you're editing. I typically work on a timeline that's in my highest resolution, so 4K usually, and I add the 1080p and upscale it. And then whenever I export it, I also use the 4K, and it seems to work out fine. It gets compressed a little bit whenever you upload it to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, so that keeps kind of the most information in there from what I've seen. So don't worry about it as much as you probably are. That's the answer. Great information. Not a question, but I do really appreciate y'all giving me positive feedback or negative feedback on any videos. It helps me feel like I'm actually reaching people instead of just seeing view numbers go up or not go up. So thank you so much for all of the support along the years. Oh, by the way, I just realized I have my phone on the screen. I just ordered the new iPhone. So let me know if you have any questions about that coming out soon. I've got the trade-in program, so every year I can get the new one and keep you guys updated and stuff, but I might have a couple days window where I can do a compare and contrast with this one, the 13 Pro. and see what the difference is. Obviously the photos are going to be a lot better with the 48 megapixels, and I'm also super interested in the wide angle lens having a lower aperture possibility, so we'll see. Okay, so I've got a flash comment. So Eagle Aerial Solutions says, I use the AD200 Pro with the Mag Sphere from MagMod, and it's amazing. It really spreads the light out. So yes, I did mention the MagMod that I use on my AD200, and whatever flash you're using, it works well. On my travel camera bag setup video a few videos back, and I think I haven't really shown anything about it in this on this YouTube channel. I've tried to keep most of my behind the scenes tutorials and stuff pretty simple and entry level, but that is an upgrade that does really help. It's not totally necessary, but once you have the budget for it, it is super nice to have that MagMod diffuser to really spread out that light evenly. And this is a windy day. It really helps to spread out that light evenly and get those nice soft interiors. So yes. Okay, another flash question. So Fabio Fieri says, in the last 3 layers you use a white mask that masks all the layer below. Yes, use a black layer to delete stuff from a layer mask. A black brush. I'm not sure what their question is, but basically if you're using a bunch of layers in Photoshop, you can use a layer mask to non-destructively delete stuff. So you have like a base layer, then you have a layer that has flash over it in some areas, then another flash layer that has flash in another area above it, and you kind of just build a stack of images with a little bit of flash added each time to where your final image is going to look how you want it. So hopefully that answers the question. I'm not sure what this is saying. Okay, another frame rate question. So, okay, just kidding. This is my friend Travis, who posts a lot of cool videos about fishing. He's just saying thanks for posting tips and stuff. So, thanks, dude. There's probably like 2 or 3 people total that I actually know and like have a personal relationship with that comment on my YouTube videos, so it's always fun to see those like reoccurring supportive friends. So thanks, Travis, if you're watching this. Alright, next question. This is a question about real estate video. So Philip S says, I treat the verticals in video shots the same as in stills, keeping them always straight unless it's purposefully pointing down or up towards a subject. Is there a reason why you don't keep the verticals straight in the example video shots? Yeah, it's basically just creative choice. So sometimes, like if I'm doing a slider shot side to side or something like that, I like to keep them straight. If I'm doing just like a perfectly straight push in into a room, I like to keep that straight. But a lot of times I'm kind of combining like a fluid motion type of thing. I'm kind of going into a room and then showing the ceiling a little bit, or just trying to do something a little bit more creative and make it more interesting, based on what I like. So this is totally up to everybody. So it definitely depends on what type of video you're making, what creative choices you have flexibility with, or what creative choices you don't want to mess with. So yeah. So basically the answer to the question is, I thought it looked cool and I thought it worked for the specific purpose. So that's it. Probably the only time I would want to keep all the verticals perfectly straight for a whole video would be if it was like for an architect or something that needs to be just really, really precise. Otherwise, the kind of flowy, glidey movement I think works really well, and I like it personally, but it's up to everybody. Okay. A lot of y'all just saying you like these videos, so thanks. Edit You Out, in response to someone else's comment, says, I've been using an AD600 with a 7-inch Bowens reflector diffuser. I learned this trick from a guy I shadowed during 800 homes a year. That's a lot. The point of it is mostly to be able to set it on the ground, and the diffuser effectively makes a stand. In some of the big rooms with dark paint or woodwork, I've had to use every bit of power out of it. I know it's an expensive flash, but I so much prefer it over the AD200. So yeah, it's a good point. I have an 8600 and it's overkill for most things, but whenever you do need the power, it is amazing. It's also super fast, so if you're doing portraits where people are moving and stuff, the refresh rate on it is really great for that. Or events, it's great. You can just bounce it on a wall and light up like a whole room. So, true. You can also use two 8200s and put them in a Bones mount adapter and get more close to that amount of power, and it's a little bit more portable, so that's another option too. But yeah, good strategy. Sounds good. Tilo the Great says, "This was cool, like this format." Going back to a old podcast style video I did with my friend Andre Restrepo. It was fun. It's super easy to make those. It's nice to be able to just sit down and talk about something specific, and that ends up being helpful for you guys to get a little bit of insight into the industry or into just past experiences and things that we've learned from. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see more podcast style stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. I really do want to collaborate with more creators and get more people involved in this channel. So let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for who I should do that with too. I'd love to get y'all's input, and maybe we can set some things up in the near future. That'd be fun. So Chase Nuhiwa, cool name, says, in response to the video of me in the hotel doing all the flashes everywhere, looking like a goofball, he says, "Great method, but all of that work for one angle of a room, it's not a practical workflow." I will like this comment. Definitely true. So I made that video. It's gotten a lot of views for some reason, and I made it a long time ago, like over a year ago. It's one of the first early videos I've done on YouTube, and honestly, a lot of those videos early on, I was just trying to make something interesting out of something that was not needing to be that complicated, and kind of show an example of all the creative stuff you could do with one flash in one room, one shot. So yes, it's a ridiculous example. It's way overdone for almost every single shot that I've ever done for interiors. I'll use flash in one or two places, or I'll do like maybe 2 to 3 layers total. So yes, that example is way overblown, way more complicated than you ever probably want, but I don't know. But hopefully it illustrated the possibilities, and that's kind of, it is what it is. It lives on the internet now. So people every day get to see me making a ridiculous, overblown example of interior flash photography. So it's cool. I think that's it. That's all the comments. So hopefully this video is not too long. I'm going to try to organize it maybe a little bit into different sections. So we had a lot of questions about flash, phone stuff, gimbal stuff. So yeah, we'll see what the title ends up being. I'm going to be posting some videos about my trip to Europe, and I actually tested out a new 360 camera while I was over there, so that's kind of cool thing to be looking forward to. So yeah, glad to be back home after a few really busy weeks and getting some R&R, recuperating the last couple days. But look forward to more stuff coming out soon, and in the meantime, follow me on Instagram. I've actually been posting a lot more stuff on there. I posted photos every day from the trip. That was a lot of fun. But anyways, if you're new, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on those future videos, and look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.